Hello and welcome to video number 5 in the Demystifying Music Theory video series. This video will be a quick review of videos 1 through 4 of the Demystifying Music Theory series. Let's get this done. First, in lesson 1, we memorized the 7 basic triads. The 7 three-note triads are just the letter names of the 7 basic triads. They are the first, third, and fifth tones of each basic chord, but with no sharps or flats. They will have sharps and flats and become major chords by adding sharps or flats as needed, but at this point, just memorize each of these 7 basic triads and know them as well as you know any 3-letter word. Here are the 7 basic triads. I arranged them in alphabetical order to help you learn them. ACE, BDF, CEG, DFA, EGB, FAC, and GBD. We'll be adding sharps or flats on these triads as necessary to come up with the 12 major chords. Think of the first triad, ACE. It spells the word ace. Those letters are the 1, the 3rd, and the 5th tones of the basic A triad. So think of the word ace. Let me ask you a question. What is the first tone or note in the basic A triad? Well, the obvious answer is A. What's the 3rd tone of the basic A triad? The obvious answer is C. What's the 5th note or tone of the basic triad A? And the obvious answer is E. Get the other 6 triads in your head as well as you know how to spell the word ace for this first group, and just keep going over them. If you do that, these lessons will be a whole lot easier. You may, if you don't know them well enough, you may even want to stop here and go back and work on the triads and then come back here and pick up these lessons after you've got the basic triads learned well enough. You'd make the decision on that. I don't want to see anybody get frustrated in that. Mostly the frustration comes from not knowing the triads well enough, and it doesn't take that long to get them in your head. So if you need to, go back, do the triads, get them learned well, and then come back, and we'll see you back here. But when we add the sharps or flats as necessary to these 3-note triads, they'll make up the 12 major chords. If you play them on the piano, those 12 major chords, you'll notice that because of their appearance, they can be put in 4 distinct groups. And so I've come up with that, and makes it easier to memorize and learn all 12 triads by putting them in these 4 groups, 3 chords in a group. And we're looking at the first 3 groups up through lesson 5, okay? So in the first group, the group of 3 chords that have no sharps or flats, okay? We call this group the white, white, white group because to play these chords on the piano, we only use white notes. The white, white, white chords, here they are, C, F, and G. I don't have a memory for these, so just remember, C, F, and G are the white, white, white group chords, C, F, and G. The second group of 3 chords has a sharp, a black note on the 3rd tone of the triads in this group. That would be the middle note. So that's why we call it the white, black, white group. They are the chords A, D, and E. Now for a memory aid for the white, black, white chords in group 2, and then in a moment you'll see in group 3, remember the word aid, like Band-Aid, but don't spell it A-I-D, think of it as A, D, E, because those are the three chords that we're going to find, or they're the three letters that we're going to find in the second group of chords as well as in the third group of chords, A, D, and E. But the A chord in this group, second group, we're looking at putting a black note, a sharp, on the third. So we take those basic triads, and then the A chord becomes, or it's spelled A, C sharp, E. The D chord is spelled D, F sharp, A. The E chord is spelled E, G sharp, B. Okay? The third group of three chords has flats, or black notes, on the first and fifth tones of the basic triads in this third group. So we call this group the black, white, black group. We use the same memory aid, the word ADE, aid, to remember the chords in this third group, but this group has a flat on the first and fifth intervals, so our memory aid for these three chords becomes A flat, D flat, and E flat, instead of just A, D, and E. So the third chord group is the black, white, black group, and the chords in this group are A flat, D flat, and E flat. And let's see, did we go over the triads in this group? I don't think so. We need to do that. A flat, the A flat chord is spelled A flat, C, E flat. The D flat chord is spelled D flat, F, A flat. And the E flat chord is spelled E flat, G, B flat. Okay? Now you know 9 of the 12 major chords. To spell each chord, we've used the basic triads along with the white or black markings for each group. There are no black notes in the first group, the white, white, white group. So these chords are spelled as they appear in the basic group of 7 triads. The C chord is C, E, G. The F chord is F, A, C. The G chord is G, B, D. The white, black, white group are the we're using our memory aid to remember those. It's the word aid, A-D-E. So the chords in the white, black, white group, the second group, the chords are A, D, and E. The third of these chords in the second group is a black note, is a sharp. So using the basic triads and adding a sharp to the third note, the A chord is A, C sharp, E. The D chord is D, F sharp, A. And the E chord is E, G sharp, B. The third group chords are the black, white, black chords. And those chords are A flat, D flat, and E flat. So you can see there's our memory aid again. We're still using the word aid, A-D-E, but we're adding a flat to each one of these because the first and fifth tones have flats on them in this group. So the putting a flat on the first and fifth of the chords in this third group is what we need to do. So using the basic triads and adding the flats to the first and fifth notes in this group, we come up with the A flat chord, which is A flat, C, E flat, the D flat chord, which is D flat, F, A flat, and the E flat chord, which is E flat, G, B flat. Now, every time I've given you the list of chords in each group, I've done it so that if you look at the first chord that I give you in each group, it can be a key signature. Think of that as a key signature, and then the other 2 chords are the 4 chord and 5 chord in that key signature. They can just be arranged that way. We can't do that with the fourth group of chords, but on these first 3 groups, we can do that. So I've put them in a 1-4-5 progression. And that way you can play these chords on the piano or guitar using only the chords from each group. Okay? That way you can memorize the chords in each group a little bit easier. And you can mix up all three chords in any order you want for each group, but start and stop on the one chord. Now some guitar players, probably most guitar players, are not going to be ready to play in the key of A flat, all right? You know, some can and some can't, but no worries. Just memorize the information presented here because we can't leave anything out. You don't have to be able to play A flat or play in the key of A flat on guitar in order for all this to work for you. Just remember the information. Now that concludes what we've studied so far in the previous videos. So that concludes video number 5. In the next video, video number 6, we will learn the chords in group 4, the last group, and we call that the odd group. When we conclude that, you will have all 4 chord groups learned, and that information in your memory will allow you to designate any of the 12 chords as the key signature or the one of the scale, and be able to figure out, well, what's the 4 chord, what's the 5 chord, and you'll be able to figure out a whole lot more than that. And we're not going to go into all the things you're going to be able to accomplish in this lesson, but you won't need to be thinking in terms of groups when you get done with all these lessons. We've basically just used the 4 chord groups to help memorize the 12 major chords and get them in our memory bank so well that we're just comfortable with them. If we tried doing that with 1 chord at a time, it just gets out of hand and it's just a little too much to put everything together. So I came up with this way to make it a little more clear, hopefully. And just know, though, that that's where we're going to get to very shortly. When we get that 4th group learned, you're going to be able to do a whole lot in any key that you might want to work in. So in this video, video number 5, we've reviewed the 7 basic triads. We've divided 9 of the 12 major chords into 3 groups based on their arrangement of white notes and black notes. We've got the white group chords, C spelled C-E-G, the F chord spelled F-A-C, the G chord spelled G-B-D, and we've got the white group chords, A spelled A-C-sharp-E, D chord D-F-sharp-A, and the E chord E-G-sharp-B. And then the last group we looked at, the 3rd group, the black chords. We had A flat spelled A flat C E flat, the D flat chord spelled D flat F A flat, and the E flat chord spelled E flat G B flat. I hope this review lesson was helpful. In the next video, video number 6, we'll study the last chord group, the odd group. The chords in the odd group can't be put in a 1-4-5 progression, but their black and white color orientation will just boldly stand out from the other chord groups and chords because they're so obviously different. So you've learned these 9 chords, there's only 3 left, and my point here is that the 3 that are left, yeah, they're different, but that's what makes them a little bit easier. They stick out because they're so different, and that makes them easy to think of and work with. So studying the last 3 chords in the odd group will give you a complete framework for music theory knowledge. How exciting is that? So until I see you in video number 6, keep studying and keep making music.